Hi, welcome back. My name is Michelle and you're watching Michelle's Life. Today's video is the mid-year book freakout tag, originally created by Read Like Wildfire, and I'll leave the original link down below. I was not tagged by anyone to do this video, but I've seen it going around. I just really wanted to do this tag. It seemed like a really great way to reflect on my reading so far this year and talk about some of my favorite books and some of my least favorite books, and it's just a fun time. There are 15 questions, so we'll start with number 1. What is the best book that you have read so far this year? And I feel like this question is loaded. I can't answer one book for this. That's like asking, who's your favorite band? Come on. Or what's your favorite album? Come on. Anyway, so I've got a couple to show you. Some of my favorite books this year have been Did You Ever Have a Family by Bill Clegg, Weird Girl and What's His Name by Megan Brothers, More Happy Than That by Adam Silvera, and I've also really enjoyed the Sweet Evil trilogy. Number 2 is the best sequel you have read this year. And again, Sweet Reckoning is the third book in the Sweet Evil trilogy. I feel that because I just finished this trilogy, I may be biased, but I finished the whole trilogy in under a week, which normally I read one book a week. I read each of these books in 2 days, and I felt that the third book was even stronger than the first two. I just really liked the representation and the conversation on consensual sex, and I loved that there was finally a queer Neff character in the book, though briefly mentioned, and I just overall really enjoyed that addition to the series. Number 3 is a new release that you have not yet read but want to, and that is A World of Ink and Shadows. I don't remember who the author is offhand, but it is about the Bronte siblings being thrown into their stories. I think I originally heard about the book over at my friend Karen's channel, A Simple Cup of Tea, and it just sounded phenomenal based on her review, so I've been meaning to read it all year, but for some reason I keep forgetting about it and I haven't gotten to it yet. I'm hoping to get to it in August after I do my reread of Jane Eyre with Kayla from Kayla Rain. Number 4 is most anticipated releases for the second half of the year. Alright, all of my anticipated reads basically come out in September, and those include Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas, Witch's Pyre by Josephine Angelini, and As We Descended, is it As I Descended? No, As We Descended by Robin Talley, and the fourth book is A Fire and Stars. I'm not sure when that one's being released, but I'm definitely looking forward to all 4 of those. Number 5 is your biggest disappointment, and that would probably have to be Sword and Verse. I received that book from Epic Reads to review, and it was my first ever review copy, and I was really excited, but it was so dry and I just couldn't connect to any of the characters, so I guess that would be my biggest disappointment of the year so far. My biggest surprise, again, the Sweet Evil trilogy. I mean, I bought Sweet Evil originally when I got my Kindle almost a year ago. No, it was more than a year ago. I think I got my Kindle 2 years ago. My daughter's a year and a half, so a year and a half ago. And I picked it up when it was $2 through the Epic Reads site, and I kind of just got it because people have mentioned it kind of like a guilty pleasure read, and I guess in a way it was. But damn, it was so good. I haven't aggressively devoured a series like this in a long time, probably not since the Throne of Glass series that I devoured last summer. So it was really nice having this series and being able to get all of it from Overdrive from my library. Also really loved talking with my friend Caitlin about all of the elements of this series that I absolutely adored. If you love quick, fast-paced, really well-developed books, then I definitely recommend checking out the Sweet Evil trilogy. There is definitely high sexual tension in this series, and there are, again, of course, lots of tropey-like things, but I think that Wendy Higgins did a really great job at executing her novels and making them interesting and holding your attention. Number 7 is favorite new author, and again, you can't ask me to pick just one. I picked 3. The consistent thread for each of these authors is that I've only read one book by each of them. Normally I wouldn't say that I love an author unless I've read more than one work by them, but these 3 books really stood out to me. And I really enjoyed all 3 of these authors' writing styles as well, so The first one is Adam Silvera, and the book that I read by him is More Happy Than Not, and I cannot wait to get my hands on his future novels. I need them. The next one is A.S. King, and the book that I read by her is Ask the Passengers. And then the third author is Orhan Pamuk, and I read A Strangeness in My Mind, and since then have bought 2 more novels by him. I really enjoyed each of their writing styles and felt that they each had something unique to offer the writing community. Number 8 is Newest Fictional Crush, and I don't really have one. I kind of like Capano from the Sweet Evil trilogy. Plus, how cool is Capano as a name, right? I think it's fantastic. Number 9 is Newest Favorite Character, and I chose a couple. Patty from the Sweet Evil trilogy is the adoptive mother, and she is literally the best mother I have ever read about. She has the patience of a saint and a heart bigger than anyone I've ever met. She is just so forgiving and trusting and loving and just a really great mother figure. She melted my heart in so many ways. I absolutely loved her. Then Sazed from the Mistborn trilogy. He is a Furomancer? I can't pronounce what kind of magic system he uses. Furomancy? Something like that. But he is just a really great person, and the way that he protects Vin in like this big brotherly way, even though he's not supposed to, and I just absolutely love Sazed from the Mistborn trilogy. Number 10 is a book that made you cry, and surprisingly I've done really well this year at not getting too emotional while I read. But again, the Sweet Evil trilogy broke me. That final book, if you've read this trilogy, which I've had a couple comments of people saying they have, the epilogue of book 3 completely destroyed me. I was sobbing. I had to go into my husband, who was sleeping, and tell him what happened because I was so emotionally drained, but it was so good. And a book that made me happy definitely had to have been Tell Me Again How a Crush Should Feel by Sarah Farzan. Just the swoon-worthy romance that took place in this book was so great. I just absolutely loved the 2 female characters in here that wind up forming a romance. They're just perfect. I was smiling a dopey smile the whole time. Number 12 is favorite book to movie adaptation. Since becoming a mother, I have not seen many movies, let alone book to movie adaptations, so I don't have an answer for this one. Number 13 is your favorite review that you wrote this year, and that would probably be A Stranger's in My Mind by Orhan Pamuk, and I'll leave a link to that video down below. Number 14 is the most beautiful book you purchased this year. Without a doubt, hands down, has to be this one. I'm not a big fan of the dust jacket, but watch this. So you have this ugly burgundy color, and then what? Is that not gorgeous? And on the back, and then it has colorful illustrations, and I'm so excited to read this in the future with my daughter. I might even read it before I read it with my daughter. Just the end pages, it's absolutely stunning. So this is definitely the prettiest book I have in my library. And number 15 is what books do you need to read before the end of the year? I really need to finish Americana by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I'm halfway through. I kind of just read a little bit of this book every month, and I enjoy it that way. So I will finish this before the end of the year. Then I also want to read Where Things Come Back by John Corey Whaley. I heard that this takes place in Arkansas, which I did not know. And if you don't know, I currently live in Arkansas, so I really wanted to read this before I move in August. So I really gotta get cracking and read this one soon. I have not yet read anything by John Corey Whaley. Also really want to read The 13th Tale by Diane Setterfield. I know I still have a sticker on it. I'm not very good about taking them off. But I absolutely adore Cece over at A Problem of a Book Nerds channel, and she raves about this book every 5th video or so. So I really appreciate her opinion on books, and I'm sure I would really like it. So I really need to read this one. I want to finish up the Mistborn series before the end of the year. It's taken me a while to get through some of them, but I absolutely adore this series, and I don't know how many times I've said absolutely adore in this, but sorry. And I just really look forward to reading this one. I also really I'm thinking maybe I'll end the year on this one, and it's Debbie Harry Sings in French. It's by Megan Brothers, and the first book that I read of the year was Weird Girl and What's His Name, and I loved it so much. So after reading it, I went out and bought everything else that Megan Brothers has published. So I've had this one on my shelf for a while now, but I really need to get to it. And lastly, other than the new releases that I really want to read that haven't come out yet, I also want to get to My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante. I've heard nothing but amazing things about this, and I read the first chapter and it sounds really, really good. So that's it for this tag. I would like to tag a couple of people because I would genuinely like to see what their answers are, and that is Kayla from Kayla Rain, Alex from Books and Me. I would like to see Jody and Liz do this on their blogs. Ladies, your blogs have not had enough posts lately. I want this tag and I want it done now. And I would really like to see Crystal do this tag as well over at Crystal Lynn. If you haven't checked out her channel, I highly recommend it. She's phenomenal. So yeah, anyway, thank you all so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Let me know down below two things. One, what your favorite read of the year so far has been, and number two, what book you need to absolutely read before the end of the year. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.